Okay. Hi, good evening, C3 parents. I'm so happy to see you while we wait for people to join us. I am super excited. So I need to get used to looking at the camera over there and not down on the keyboard. So just bear with me with this whole thing with my eyes being everywhere. Um, and while we wait for people to join us, you know what, classic. Okay. I'm super excited for this. So if you're here, please hit that like button, say hi. I want to know that you're here. Um, I will keep an eye on the comments. You're welcome to post scenarios and situations where you need specific guidance. Otherwise, we're just going to have a general conversation about what is going on. And our conversation tonight is going to be, how do we handle those situations with family and friends that disagree with the way that we raise our kids? Um, it is always a tricky situation. It is a situation that most of us don't want to find ourselves in. Um, and our sound check happened. Great, thank you, thank you, my love, my love. All right. So we find ourselves in situations, and it's usually, especially when our children are fairly young, we're still getting the hang of becoming parents. We're still getting the hang of how to deal with everything, how everything fits together. And then we get these unsolicited advice, people that completely disagree with the way that we raise our kids. And it kind of creates this snowball effect because we've got very specific ways that we want to raise our kids. We've done certain research, we have put in the effort, so to speak, to try and move forward or raise our kids in a very specific way. Some of us like to continue with generational habits or ways of doing it, but there's quite a big movement and a vast movement that is science oriented, that is focused on what, with the knowledge that we have now, what will be the best for our kids. And unfortunately, a lot of the times, that specifically does not align necessarily with how some family members think we should raise our kids and how friends may think we should raise our kids. So what is the number one thing? There's what are the number one things that we need to take into account is, so very often we engage in those relationships with family members and friends from a standpoint or point of view where it is about, I still want them to love me. I still want them to accept me. And due to power dynamics in that relationship, it becomes extremely difficult for us to navigate those waters. We actually get stuck on, I need them to love me, and they're in a position of power, so they've got a certain sense of authority. I've always accepted their authority, and I disagree at the moment with what they're doing with my child. How do I handle this? How do I step up for my kid because they're my responsibility, but how do I maintain that relationship between myself and that family member or that friend? Now, that bit becomes tricky not because we are not in a mindset that we want to take care of our kids, but because we need to navigate our interpersonal relationships. So the first thing that I want you to understand is that a lot of the times, due to power dynamics, if a person is in a position, let's say it's your family members, brothers, sisters, mother, father, in-laws, people that has certain authority in your life, they have certain input in your life, due to the relationship that they have with you. It is not the child's job to keep them happy. It is not your child's job to keep them happy. And this is the part where you, as the parents, going to have to step in and say, I'm willing to take the knock. Now, every time that we have a negative interaction with someone, we experience in that relationship what we would term loss of love. And I need to be comfortable enough to accept that I am, as a parent, speaking up for my child, speaking up for the way that I'm parenting my kid. I am going to every now and again experience loss of love for the sake of my child, but I'm not going to put my child in a position to put so that I can gain love. It's not my child's place to keep the relationship between myself and others healthy. So I'm not going to use my child as a prop to gain love. My child is there, they're their own human being, they are one whole human being, and their job is to be a kid and to be respected, to be accepted, and to be understood as kids, as a child. I'm sorry, guys. Anyway, so let me know if you guys are still here. It feels a bit weird that I can't really see if I've got people there. So just comment, say hi. Let me know. Hit that like button if you like where we're going. But anyway, just let me know as we go on. All right. So my child's job is not to keep an adult happy. And I'm speaking from personal experience. We have lost as a family, experienced loss of love quite significantly. We've lost quite a few family members that is no longer in a relationship with us due to a choice that they've made, and a choice that we've made. Let's sorry about that. It's a choice that we've made as well. But it was a choice that we had to make. We had to realize that my child's job is not to make them feel loved. If they want to have a relationship with my kid, if they want to have a relationship with us, they're going to have to start stepping into a relationship that is respectful and joins hands with us in raising the kid, in our kid children, instead of working against us. And this is a very difficult thing to navigate. Some family members, like I said, turned their backs on us, and some family members embraced it and actually asked more questions and wanted to learn. Now, I'm not saying now, oh no, you need to go and ruin your relationships with family members, and my way is the highway kind of attitude, because at the end of the day, we don't want people to end up with no support system at all. That's not what we're aiming for. We're aiming for an understanding that I need to understand that I'm going to take some losses of love. I'm going to take some for the sake of my children, and that is okay. So you first of all need to be okay with the losses of love. The second thing that you actually have to take into account when we engage with these things, what is my outcome? Where is it that I want to be? Where is it what I want to get with this interaction? Do I want them to respect my child? Do I want them to respect me and my authority? Am I experiencing things maybe a bit more sensitive because I expect of them to be negative towards me, and now I'm super sensitive of what they do and how they engage, and I'm fearful for how it will impact my kid? Though, and I need to ask myself those questions, like how am I going to get their buy-in in what we're planning on doing? So one of the examples is actually a family that I've gone through a course with, had a family member that insisted on doing things the way that she used to do it, with her kids, and it became a very difficult situation around bedtime. And the question was, do you want to put your foot down and make things like create a space of animosity? Or would you like to have cooperative engagement? And if your aim is cooperative engagement, if that relationship is important enough for you, that you want to maintain that relationship, that you're willing to take a little bit of a knock of loss of love, but not complete loss of love and relationship, that means you're going to have to move in a cooperative engagement with that person, depending on how important and how involved they are in your day-to-day with your kids. And the buy-in then is to sit down with that person and say, you know what, we're struggling with bedtime when this and this and this happens. Our kid particularly reacts in this way. We need your help, and we love for you to be involved in all of that, but can we approach it a bit differently? And they troubleshoot together as a team to find a better way to engage with the child that is involved. So that becomes cooperative engagement, and it makes it a bit easier to manage the opinions that people may have, because it's a nice way of saying to that person, listen here, you've had your opportunity to raise your kids, it is my turn now to raise my kids. A lot of times, a lot of parents struggle with pushback from we view, and that is a mind shift that we actually have to take as adult children from our parents and from our older siblings, or from siblings that may be younger than us but may have had children before we've had children. So they come and they speak with a certain sense of authority. They've been here, so they really want to help. And then when they make suggestions, we tend to feel like we have to follow it as if it's instructions, and then we get upset, and then we feel like they're treating us like we're the child, and we feel like we don't have a choice, we don't have any space to maneuver. And tonight I want you to remind yourself, you are, number one, you are the parent of the child that is in this conversation. Number two, you have done a certain amount of research, so you know what you're talking about. So take comfort in that, and take knowledge in that, and take power in that you know what you're doing. And number three is, so what if you decide to co-sleep? It is, and the whole thing about let's not take co-sleep, because that is quite a touchy subject for a lot of people. You've decided to not give your baby solids before 6 months, or like whatever, because you want to follow the World Health Organization, and you've got a family member like, yeah, but I gave my kid solids already at 4 months. You have to start giving your child solids. They're hungry, and look at how they're behaving. Those kind of critiques, it is their opinion. And they speak with a certain authority because they're speaking from their own survival bias, of their kid's survival, or their own lived bias. But the reality is, you have decided to follow the World Health Organization information. So you can either go and say, hey, listen here, I'm following the World Health Organization guidelines. I feel most comfortable that way, and it is my kid, and I'm only going to start feeding my kid solids at 6 months. Or you can go and say, thank you for your input, I'll take it under consideration, and turn around and walk away. The reality is, they're not going to follow you home, be in your home, watch you how you feed your child. We live almost as if our siblings and our parents and our in-laws and our aunts and our uncles and every second person that has an opinion about how we raise our kids actually live in our homes and have the power to punish you for some other reason, or punish you for not following their instructions. The reality is, you make choices for you and your family, and it works for you and your family. And that is how it's going to be. Now comes the festive season, we face a different challenge. But before we get to that part, guys, I quickly just need to pay the bills and just share this with you guys. First of all, I'm extremely happy to be affiliated with Mommy More South Africa. It's a momtrepreneur community in South Africa. It is across the whole of South Africa. There is 19 Facebook groups. If you're a momtrepreneur with a side hustle that you would like to advertise at a marginal price of, they've got a monthly rate, and I don't want to lie to you, they've got a monthly rate of 119 Rand per month. You get to advertise on 19 Mommy Mall websites, and not websites, Facebook groups. You get to market on their website. We've got affiliates and people sharing the website. What lies ahead in 2021 for the Mommy Mall is you literally, as a small momtrepreneur, get the opportunity to buy into an advertising strategy that will go on a national level. They're busy looking at national TV adverts for Mommy More, and they're looking at billboards. So your brand will be associated with Mommy More. We said a lot of people will actually go to the website, and that is how your brand and your company will get discovered. So if you want to actually join the Mommy More, if you're a momtrepreneur and you want to join the Mommy More community, please click on the link down below, and you can follow all the instructions there, and it will give you connection that side. And then the second thing that I just quickly want to mention is C3 Parenting. Like the conversation that we're having tonight is part of the C3 Parenting Club. The YouTube one tonight is for free, but the C3 Parenting Club, if you join it, if you're South African, it's only 75 Rand a month. And we have a special at the moment, 750 Rand for a 12-month subscription. Every month you get a podcast, you get a video, and you get a workshop, and you have access to me directly, where you can ask your parenting questions, where I don't have to say to you, okay, listen here, let's set up an appointment and let's set up a consultation and you're going to pay me for my hourly rate. You get access to me for only 75 Rand a month, almost 24/7. Please, guys, I need to sleep every now and again. All right, so back to our regular broadcasting. All right, so let's just quickly get back to the conversation. All right, thank you for your patience. All right, so when we look at that loss of love, that struggle, that working through these emotions and those kind of things, it usually, our struggle is more our internal, and it's overshadowing our instinct to protect our kids. And whether we like to admit it or not, it is that we are trying to protect our kids, but our knee-jerk response, our feeling of being controlled, of being inundated with stuff that we don't want, that actually connects to our own relationship with the people that we engage with. So, like I said before we took our little break, like I said, first thing is be okay to take a knock. Be okay to take a loss of love. Be okay to upset your mom. Be okay to upset your dad. Be okay to look people in the eye and honestly just maintain authentically your boundary and say, thank you, I appreciate that, I'll take it under advisement and carry on. Now, during the festive season, maybe you're a family that don't like your kids to have lots of sugar, or you have specific things that you don't want your child to be exposed to. You have the right, without making a scene. You don't have to make a scene. We don't have to do the hair flip and walk out. You don't have to make a scene, but you have the right to remove yourself and your family members from that situation, or to step in, stop it, and say, I appreciate and I know you would like to spoil our kid. I'm not comfortable with this. I think we need to find a different way where you can engage with our kids. That collaborative engagement with the kids, it is so, so, so important. We have tried, like I said, we've lost family members due to well, partly due to our parenting style, partly due to family politics. But I'll never forget the day that a very, very close family member of mine took my child from me after I said, listen here, this one's very niggly, crying the whole time, going through a developmental leap at that point in time, and I didn't know it was a leap. So it was just constantly in my arms for the night. And my little one cried, and I had to ask my child back, and they turned around and they walked away, and my child was crying, and I said, please give my child back. And by the third time, I kind of had to be the mean person and say, listen here, you need to respect my child's feelings, give them back to me. At that particular point in time, this family member decided that if I expect of them to respect my child's feelings, they do not want to love my child or have a relationship with my child. And as sad as that decision is, it comes from their problem. And this is the last thing that I just want to focus on. We focus on, we've got our own problems and our own baggage when we deal with our family that makes us a bit more knee-jerk or more triggered because we fear loss of love in that relationship. So we look at cooperative relationships with family members and taking a stand, respecting my own boundaries. But we also need to understand that every single other person that we deal with that have an opinion and all of that come with their own baggage. They come with their own fears of loss of love, but with their own perspective also about what the role of a child is. And if their perspective and their approach is that it's your child's job to keep them happy, I want to give you 1,000,000% permission to turn around and say to them, no. You don't have to fight. You don't have to be nasty. I know you might want to swear at them, and you can just say no. They don't have to understand why you say no. It is their problem. If they want to make it your child's responsibility to make them feel loved, to make them feel accepted, to make them engage with it, then they are in the wrong. And you are in the right of protecting your child from a manipulative relationship like that. Ask them. Yes, we have body boundaries. You can ask them for a hug, you can ask them for a kiss, but if they say no, you respect that no. And it's a different approach, and it makes the adults feel uncomfortable. And to be honest, it's fine. It's fine that the adults are uncomfortable. They're grown ups. They can get over it. They can move on. They can learn how to manage this. They can learn how to engage this. I've got family members that the moment that we've had this thing of you do not touch our children without permission or without them giving consent, they will sit side by side with the kids and play with the toys and whatever. You don't have to always touch a child. You don't have to. And the kids out of their own will reach out and connect with those family members. So you are not responsible, your child is not responsible to make another person feel loved and accepted by allowing them to break your boundaries and overstep on boundaries. So your game plan for the festive season is XYZ is my boundaries. I'm going to practice how I'm going to engage. I know I'm going to see Uncle John, who always believes that smacking a girl on the bum when he walks past her is okay. How am I going to handle Uncle John? I'm going to turn around. When I see him approaching, I'm going to turn around and say, you don't touch me. And if he like, oh, then it's my body and you're not going to touch me. And I'm going to say it loud enough. Is it going to upset some people? It is okay for them to upset some people. I do not have to accept harassment for the sake of family acceptance. There's this family member that continues tickling my kids without their permission, and my kids don't like being tickled. How am I going to step in? How am I going to keep my kids safe? Practice what you're going to say. Practice that boundary so that, first of all, you don't say it in a snotty or fighting attitude or voice, so that you can remain calm and that you can handle the situation. Your insides might go like this because it's a confrontation that nobody wants. But once you've practiced it, it will be easier. It's the same reason why when people do martial arts or when you run or when you whatever, if you don't practice it, you're not going to be able to do it when it's game time. So practice how your boundaries look with your kids, how you're going to engage with particular family members, how are you going to engage. If you're going to go on holiday with the in-laws and they are set on doing certain things that you know you don't want to happen with your kids, what things are you negotiable on? What things are you like, okay, fine, I can accept that? What things are you non-negotiable? You're not going to negotiate on that, and how are you going to invite them in a cooperative way so that your child has the best possible outcome without you compromising on boundaries that is hard and fast for you. I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to ask some questions, give any particular situation that you would like to engage with. Please let me know if you're still here. Write hi or whatever if you're still here. I'm just going to give you 2 or 3 or 4 more minutes. Okay, it looks like we don't have any particular questions. All right, so if you're watching this on the replay at the end, please write hashtag replay. I would love to see if you just comment down below, hashtag replay if you're watching this after the fact. And then, guys, please, if you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, comment down below, engage in this conversation. If you have a particular life story or situation that you would like to brainstorm on, comment. I will be in the comments. I will engage with you. I will talk it through with you. We can brainstorm together. That is the whole idea of this conversation, is to help you as a parent. So just to final summary of tonight. I see we've got 4 new people watching. Hello, 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 hello. Please say hi. Let me know. If you have any questions, you've got about 30 seconds or a minute to type them so we can engage with them. Just to sum it up. So the first thing is, it's not your child's responsibility to make others feel loved. Okay, I'm back. Okay, now our connection dropped. All right, so I was like, okay, so know your own boundaries and practice, practice, practice. And remember, they bring their own baggage and it's okay for them to get upset. We don't have to keep everybody happy at all times. If their family member or friend decides that they don't want to be in a relationship with you because of the boundaries you have on their engagement with the kids, I can guarantee you dodged a bullet in family and friend relationships, as sad and as hurt as much as it hurts. That is unfortunately the reality. Just quickly going to look here at the okay, hi Hanneke, hi Natasha. Glad you guys could join us. And if people are watching this on the replay, please type in the comments #replay, so I know that you're watching after the fact. I love you all, and I'm looking forward to our video release next week. And guys, if you're not part of the parenting club, join the parenting club. You're missing out on valuable information. Please stay safe, wash your hands, wear your masks, and I'll see you guys. Oh, hold on, there's another one. My mom always insists on when she comes over. Okay. Right, Monica, your comment is not completely finished. Just please check again. But besides asking her, and okay, so your mom actually experienced success in following your instructions, doing that cooperative engagement of, mom, just follow these, just try it this way, maybe you will have more success. And I hope that now that she's had that success, that has become the norm, where she first connects and then try to have that more intimate engagement. It does cut you off. You've got 200 characters, 40 more than you have in a tweet. 40 more. Anyway, any other particular, those are here, any other particular family things that you're stressing about that's lying ahead for Christmas that you want to, or for the festive season that you're a bit weary of, and how to manage that? Now's the time, guys. Ask the questions. Obviously, if you're watching this in replay, please comment down below. I will answer in the comments. It's really awesome seeing you guys watching with us. We at times had quite a few viewers, but I've got no idea. Everybody's been quiet tonight. We've had a bit of a lag on the internet. Interesting thing with what we do with family members when we especially with over the festive season. Something, sorry, that I thought of now, and I'm just going to add this on, and then I'm going to greet again, and then we're going to sign off. Is our kids are in a we've always raised them with the idea that they have to say hello. They at least have to acknowledge someone's existence. They can do it verbally, they can wave, they can high five, they can hug, and they can give someone a kiss if they want to, or if they feel comfortable. And we always give them these choices. And we met some new people that came to fetch stuff at our home. And it took me completely off guard when the kids, like, they jumped out of the car. They don't know me from a bar of soap. They ran over, they gave me a hug. And I was like, okay, hi, thank you for the hug. A bit taken aback because I don't normally ask kids for hugs. I asked them, how would you like to say hello? And these kids I didn't even get a chance to say hello in any other way, but then giving me hugs. And Angus just looked at me with his eyes like something. He's like, They didn't even give you a choice on how you want to say hello. That's rude. Um, and I laughed. It was so funny um, how the perception of our kids is. And I think that's the thing, that we're moving into festive season where you might, if you do end up seeing family or long lost family, especially let's say we're not in COVID, and for future generations that do watch this, there was a time in COVID where we couldn't really have festive season with the whole family and uncles and aunts and nephews and cousins and nieces and everybody like that remotely related, to see them over the festive season. So this one is for future festive seasons where we can do that. Sticking with the rule, being that voice for your kid. When you guys step out of the car, when you step out and you greet people and your kids don't really know them, the first thing you do is you say hi to Uncle John. Would you like to high five or shake his hand? And basically give your child two options that you know that they may be comfortable with to say hello. If your child is not a child that is willing to high five or shake hands, then you can say, would you like to wave or say hello? So you're setting them up to be able to greet in the way that they're comfortable, but you're also helping the adult that's on the receiving end know where to place of engagement with your kid. And that's really a nice way of you being a spokesperson, having that boundary and that barrier, and managing the influx of pressure on your kids to keep the adults around them during this time happy and make them feel loved. So guys, now I'm really going to say goodnight. Please stay safe. I really love you. Please wash your hands, wear your masks. And at this particular point in time, if we do physical distance during the festive season, we keep people safe. And that is a true sign of love. So please stay safe. I love you, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.